Good afternoon. My name is Nioka Lynn. Happy Wednesday. So this morning, sitting in my chair, I was relaxing, listening to some music, and I kept picking up on an old memory. Now, usually when that happens, I look inward. I tend to think, well, is there something that's unresolved in me about that situation, or am I picking up on similar um, vibrations coming from around me? I'm an empath, and as I've mentioned before, every thought that's ever been thought exists. There's a lot of stuff out there floating around all around us at all times. So I think I'm picking up on a collective consciousness because I didn't feel very emotional about it as far as it coming from an unresolved situation with me. So that being said, I know that we are in some pretty chaotic times. And I know how difficult it can be having to deal with a lot of things on a global level, personal level, And I've had folks say, oh, you don't know how I feel. Well, no, maybe I don't know how you feel personally. But a lot of times I can pick up on where someone's at, and not to pique their business, but because usually it's something familiar that I recognize, or something that I'm giving downloads on so that I can help. Not making me any better or any worse. So anyway, this morning sitting there, I started remembering how I felt on a situation. Now I know a lot of people tell me, oh, you shouldn't tell your personal business, but look, if I've gone through something and I've overcome it, I'm not embarrassed at all to share it. If it can help somebody else, I think that's a great thing. I'm proud in saying I've overcome a lot of things, and I can help folks do that if they choose. So, the memory that I was picking up on this morning, once remembering it, actually shot off to two other memories similar. The first memory that I remembered this morning was me being very pregnant with my daughter, my middle child, and I had just left Florida and moved back up to Massachusetts, my home state. And I moved up there with my daughter's father. I'd gone through a very horrific incident with my daughter's father in Florida, but had no other choice that I knew of at the time but to follow him up there. So once up in Massachusetts, he put me in this apartment, and he stayed there, I don't know, maybe a week. Ended up having to separate from him, let's just put it that way. And here I was. It was January in Massachusetts. If you know, you know. It's cold. It was 0 degrees. And me and my little boy, he was actually 3, hadn't turned 4 yet. We were in my bed, and I woke up shivering, and he was practically under me. He was cold. I jumped up to check the thermostat. There was no heat in my apartment. And I was horrified. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I had no money. I knew that because he left and everything, and as pregnant, I'm pregnant, okay? Nobody's going to hire me. What am I going to do? I started to panic, and instantly the dread, the hopelessness, the panic, and not for myself, but how was I going to take care of my little boy? Most all my family was in Florida. I had a few cousins that were around me, and thank God for them. But I remember holding on. I had a no jacket, okay? I had this little Parker thing with a sweater that couldn't close. I bundled him up as much as I could. and I held on to a fence, and I held him, and I was trying to make my way to the bus stop because I was told that if I go downtown and apply for a voucher that they would give me some oil so that I could have heat. But it might take a day or two. And I'm thinking, great. Well, thank God I had a gas cooking stove. And upon returning home that day, they told me I would have my voucher, and it was going to take a day or two for the oil man to come out and put oil in the tank in the basement. So what I did, the type of house that it was, the type of tenement house that it was, I could close off rooms and still get to other rooms. So what I did was I closed those off into the kitchen. That's where the cook stove was. And I shut off the rooms. And there was just this little hallway that led to the bathroom, which was perfect. So I was heating up this little kitchen and the bathroom. And I remember him telling me he was cold. We had eaten, and I got it nice and warm in there. I was a little nervous about leaving the gas on all night long, but I mean, it was 0 degrees. We would have froze to death had I not, and on the first floor to boot. So I remember making a pallet under the table, under the kitchen table, so that I could keep an eye on the gas stove. And I remember feeling worthless as a mom. Look at my poor little boy, I'm thinking, laying here, and I'm his mom, and I'm the one that he has to rely on and trust in. And here I was panicking because I didn't know what I was going to do. How was I going to take care of him? And now here I am. I'm very pregnant. How was I going to take care of this other one? Truth be told, I won't lie. Had I not been pregnant with my daughter, I would have killed myself that night. And I know a lot of people are in that same position as far as hopelessness. And it hurts my heart for them because I know that feeling. And once I thought about that this morning, I thought about when I was in my early 20s. Again, I was in a difficult situation because I had split up with my son's father, and I was totally stressed. Here I was with a little 2-year-old boy, hyper like crazy. If he got 4 hours sleep in 24, I was lucky. I was exhausted, I was stressed. And I hadn't been anywhere in a few years, anywhere. I was just home taking care of my son because he had a thing called SIDS. So I didn't trust anybody to take care of him. I had to make sure that he was okay. And if you're not familiar with SIDS, it's a condition where children, babies, forget to breathe and they just die. And I had gone through so much with him in 2 years where I wanted to make sure he was okay. But I was so anxious. I went to the doctor and I was a wreck. And he prescribed some medication for me to relax. He told me I was gonna have a nervous breakdown if I didn't relax because I was exhausted and just totally stressed. And I told my mom about it, and she says, well, I'm going to come and I'm going to get my son and for the weekend so you can rest. And I thought, okay. Long story short, a friend of mine who I used to go out dancing with, she called me and I told her what was going on in my life, and we caught up, and she came over. She only lived a few streets over. She came over and she brought another friend, and they decided we needed to smoke a joint so I could relax, and they convinced me that I should go out and have fun. So they took me to this one place that we used to go to in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, and I just couldn't relax. Before I even left my home, I took one of those pills so that I could relax. smoked the joint, which made me more anxious. Okay, because I hadn't smoked a joint in like some years. And here I am, didn't have to pay for a thing. I was drinking wine and they were buying it. And usually once you go to a place and you're a female, a lot of times the men will just jump on that. They buy you drinks. I didn't have to pay for anything. I was sitting there and I was drinking my wine. I was trying so hard to have fun, but all I could think of was, here I am. I'm a bad mom. I had to let my baby go with my mom so I could sleep. And instead of sleeping, here I am out in this club trying to have fun. Well, I was a wreck. I took another pill. I wasn't familiar with pills, but I took another pill because I just couldn't seem to relax. So I took another one. Well, what it did was it caused me to be in such a funk. I was looking around and I thought, I don't even know how to have fun. I don't know how to be a good mom. I don't know how to do anything right. Nothing I do is right. I got up and I went to the bathroom and I looked at myself in the mirror in that stinky little bathroom. And I thought, I love my son so much. I can't just give him away so that somebody can take good care of him better than I was taking care of him. I couldn't do it and still be alive. And I thought, I'm going to kill myself. And my mom will get my son. And she's got a little money. And he'll be great. He'll be taken care of much better than I could ever take care of him. So there in that stinky little bathroom, I swallowed the pills that were in the bottle. And I felt so proud of myself because I felt like I had done something wonderful for my son because I wasn't good enough. So now he had a chance, a good shot at a good life. Because it seemed like I couldn't do anything right. It seemed like everything I touched went to shit. Yeah, and I didn't want that for him. I was hopeless. To myself, I was hopeless. Now many would say, well, if you kill yourself, you're going to hell. That's crap. That's crap. Being in a place where you want to kill yourself is hell. I can promise you. That's a hell. That's a place where God does not reside in your thinking. I ended up in the hospital. They saved me. I was there for a few weeks. My mother was angry with me when I spoke to her on the phone after a couple of days because I was knocked out for a couple of days. My mom was angry with me and told me that was one hell of a way to take a vacation, and she was angry. So that just made me worse. And I thought, I can't even kill myself right. I tried to kill myself when I was a young teenager too. My math teacher, Ed McCarthy, I will never forget it. He saved me. He made me this drink with mustard and hot water, made me puke my guts out. Didn't send me home because I didn't want to go home. And made me sit in the back coat room in the classroom and, well, lay down and recover. The nurse checked me out and everything. And yeah. So I said all that. I revealed all that to express this. I understand how it feels to have no worth, no self-worth. I understand how it feels to feel like there's no hope, that sense of hopelessness, like that's the only way out, the suffering and the pain. Yeah. The last 2 times that I did it was because I didn't feel like I was good enough for my child. And I had never experienced love like that before in my life. I'd never loved anything more than my child. The first time was because I was just so tired already. I was 13. So I want to reach out to folks that feel this hopelessness, because I can feel it in the air. You're not hopeless. You are a spirit energy being experiencing a human lifetime. Maybe you came here to experience some difficult things because you knew you could find your way back to you. Don't give up. And one might say, well, I don't know what to do. I have no outlets. I have nobody that's going to talk to me. You have you, and you have God. Had it not been for God, and you take the first step. If you have no money, you have nowhere to go, you have nobody around you, you have your mind, you have your heart. You can pray. Take that first step and intend to stay alive. Intend to get through whatever it is that you're getting through. You're worth it. Your whole life experience here. Use the hardships as stepping stones. You can do it. Have the desire. God, I just want to move forward and I don't know how. God, I don't know how. I'm hurting. I have no answers, God. I prayed that. I have no answers. I don't know what to do. Help me. Now, once you put that out, you got to take your actions. Well, I just told you I didn't have... Okay. Try to find something to be grateful for. I don't care if it's the shoelaces on your shoe that you like the color. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you like the smell of somebody's cooking from next door. Find something to appreciate, to be grateful for. I'm still alive. There's still hope. Yes, there is still hope. There's always still hope when you're alive. I understand that hell, it's hell. Hell is not a place that people go to if they're bad. Hell is self-created by your thoughts. They're dark thoughts. It's like going in a room to peek to see what's going on in there, and you get sucked in by all the attractions. And before you know it, you're completely sucked in there and you don't know how to get out. You can't feel your way out in the dark. The light in that darkness will be your prayer, will be your desire to get out. As soon as you produce that desire to get out, put it out there. Look, I'm going to tell you something. Your spirit team and God, they love you so much, they'll sit there in that dark with you. You think you're alone. You're never alone. Every soul that comes into this incarnation, into this earth realm, is not alone. You come in with a spirit team, usually of 3. You're never alone. Talk to them. Get still. Quiet your mind. Yeah, the rent's due. Maybe you live under a bridge. Or you live in an abusive situation, whether it be parents or a spouse or whatever. Yeah, I mean, let's face it. If you're wanting to unalive yourself, okay, you're in a dark place. Nobody just gets up one day and says, oh, I'm just going to unalive myself. No, you're in a dark place. You're suffering. You're hurting. And you feel hopeless. So it seems like the only thing you want to do is just, I want to end this. But here's what I'm going to tell you. The only thing you end is this body. Yeah, you're still alive. It's said that some folks, when they cross over, when their body ceases to function, they don't even know they're gone. It's like closing your eyes and opening them again. Yeah. And look, I know this sounds crazy, but it is what it is. Some souls come in here, they incarnate here with the plan of doing that. Now, I'm not encouraging anybody to do that. And you say, well, why would anybody want to incarnate here and do that? Well, usually it's to have an effect on those around them. Mhm. Usually it'll teach families to come closer together or whatever. Have appreciation and gratitude and not take anything for granted. Now, I'm in no way, form, shape telling anybody to do this. I'm saying it's not hopeless. All you need is a desire to move forward. Put it out there. Your spirit team is sitting there with you in the dark, loving you unconditionally, no matter what you've done, no matter how you feel. All you have to do is say, help me. Help me. Show the desire to come out of that dark space. You can come out. I came out 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. Would I ever do it again? I hate to say never, but I don't feel like I'm in a place where I would want to do that, you know. And I've been through some pretty difficult things since, but thank God, I made it. I was taught how to overcome things. Yes, you can be taught. Even Yeshua in the scriptures. I know a lot of people don't want to hear about scriptures, but it is what it is. Even Yeshua in the scriptures, he came to empower people. You know, they left the part in the Bible where it says that he wants to make us the house that stood on the rock. Yeah. What they left out was the parts to show how. It wasn't just loving one another and not stealing from one another and not sleeping with one another's wives or husbands. What it was he came to empower us, to show us how to do this. Mm-hmm. Well, if it's not in the scriptures, how am I going to learn? Oh, baby, let me tell you. When you put out your desire and get still, look, God dwells inside of you, not in a building somewhere, some religious building somewhere. God lives within you. The kingdom of God is within you. You have a spirit team. You came here equipped. Yes, but you came here with a veil. So you forgot who you really were. Okay? But your desire is to make it back to you. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Get still. Get quiet and go within. Breathe in deep. Sit up straight. Breathe in deep. Breathe in deep. Hold it till you can't anymore. Imagine your breath coming from your tailbone, rising up, rising up, rising up till it gets in the air. Wake that thing up. Get outside in the sun. Yeah, I heard it said that depression a lot of times up north when it's snowy and dark, you know, it's not so bright and sunshiny, that a lot of people get depressed. Get out in the sunshine. Take a walk. Feel a breeze on your face. Find something to get happy about, something to appreciate. Yes. Don't look at people as your enemies. They're not your enemies. People are around you to aid and assist one way or the other. Yes. Mm-hmm. I remember being so afraid sometimes with things going on around me. And the only thing I knew how to pray at the time was, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me, O God. God is always with you. God can't leave you. You're a piece of God. Yeah, God can never leave you. Well, why does he let me go through this? Oh, God hates me. No, look. If you have a child and you're trying to steer that child into the right direction, you have to teach him. Sometimes that child will get himself into situations, fall off a bike, sprain his ankle, bust his arm. Things happen. But you nurture the child back. You instruct the child. You love the child. Just because God loves you doesn't mean he's going to coddle you every time you do something that's not quite right for you. It's not in your highest good. He'll love you enough to let you fall. Are you going to cry out? Are you going to put your hand up? Help. The help is there. The help is there. So my point in all this is, I understand. I understand a lot of hardships. But I also understand that there's a way out. You can use those hardships as your stepping stones. You sure can. And you'll be very strong for it. How is it? The scripture just come to my head. He'll make your enemies your footstool. I know a lot of religious folks, they think your enemies are people around you that are trying to hurt you. Hey, those are not your enemies. God is no respecter of persons. It's how you react and how you feel about things. Those are your enemies. Your fear-based beliefs and thoughts and actions. Everything starts with a thought. A thought will cause a reaction. An action. A thought will cause an action, and then there is a reaction. That's how cycles are formed. So it's not hopeless, and you are not helpless. You have a spirit team. You're a piece of God, having a human experience on this beautiful big earth we have. Go sit by a stream. Sit on the beach. Enjoy the waves, enjoy the sun, enjoy the warmth of the sand. Yeah, the smell of the ocean. Find something to appreciate. Ask for help. And once you do that, the synchronicities will begin. Somebody will show up and hand you a meal. Somebody will show up and give you a good piece of advice. Something will always gear you and equip you to move to the next step. It's like following a roadmap. Yes, and you're not beyond help. If you are still breathing, you are not beyond help. Don't let anybody tell you you're hopeless. And on the flip side, oh, I have a friend, she says, this really grinds my gears. And I chuckle every time, but this grinds my gears, okay? How many times have I heard someone say, well, that was a very weak person, talking about a person that unalived themselves. And knowing the pain and the darkness that you can be in when you want to make that decision, I think, how can you say that? That's why it's important that we all have to take accountability for our judgments. As soon as you place judgment on somebody, you're going to go through something. What you put out, you get back. Universal law. It's in all the religious books. What you put out, you're getting back. I think back of this poor girl who blew her brains out in a parking lot in her car. That's not weak. That's suffering. It's sad. But anyway, so that's it. Gotta go get my sheets out the dryer. So today, if you're in a place and it feels dark and you feel hopeless and helpless, reach out to God. Reach out to your spirit team. Find something, like I said, I don't care if it's the color of your shoelaces. Find something to appreciate. Yes, you can do it. We all can do it. And you are so, so worth it. You're a beautiful soul, a piece of the divine creator of all that is. The source of all that is, of all this planet Earth, of everybody on it, of everything in this planet Earth. The universes, the creator of all that is, a piece of that creator is you. You are so worth it. Yes, you beautiful energy, electric person, you. You can do this. And I promise you that if you reach out to God and your spirit team, a way will be provided for you. Mm-hmm. Yes. You have a purpose here. We need you. Mm-hmm. We need you. If you're here, you have a purpose, and we need you. Yes, we do. Yes, indeed. Okay, my sheets should be dry. My name is Nioka Lynn. Sit up, take a deep breath, and be alive. Know that you're here to be alive, and you have a purpose. It's not hopeless, and you're not helpless. Namaste.